Welcome to Live Now from Fox. I'm Stephanie Quinu. It is such a pleasure to have you joining us here on Live Now from Fox for our Christmas Eve special, Track Santa Now. And we are going to be tracking Santa live as he journeys around the world. This is another live look right here of Santa in his sleigh. And taking a look right now, it looks like he's going to be in Greenland in just about 2 minutes and 26 seconds. We are just so excited to have you here joining us here on Live Now from Fox. And it's not just me in the studio. You're taking a live look inside our Live Now from Fox studio. We are joined by Julianne, the senior producer. Julianne, if you could give our viewers a wave. There she is. And Carla, our planning manager. We are just thrilled to have you join us as we track Santa live around the world. We are going to be joined by live guests, and I want to introduce at least some of them for now because these are very special people. This is Santa himself joining us. There we go. We want him to concentrate as he is flying there. We're going to check in with him to see how his journey is going. And we're also going to be checking in with Mike Boylan from Mike's weather page. Mike is going to be absolutely critical because, Mike, you're going to be tracking all of the tricky weather conditions that Santa might encounter. And of course, we don't want to delay those presents being delivered around the world. And also, of course, Christina Evans, my colleague right there. We're going to be checking in with her throughout the night as well. But first, I wanted to share some beautiful live looks with you as we celebrate Christmas around the world. Take a look at these beautiful live looks right here from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, New York City, Somerset, Pennsylvania, and St. Paul, Minnesota. And Minnesota looks like it is getting coated with snow right there. So as we continue our live coverage here on Track Santa Now, I do want to start off with Mike Boylan because, Mike, you're joining us here live. Santa is facing some potentially tricky weather along his journey tonight. Taking a live look at NORAD right here. He's going to be over Greenland in just about 30 seconds. So what are you keeping a very close eye on tonight?
Well, just about 20 minutes ago, he was way down in the Caribbean, and I was a little jealous because that's, we like to cruise, but he got a hold of that jet stream and rocketed up there towards Greenland and Iceland right now. There's some strong winds currently, but it looks like he's making that trek through Canada, and it's pretty quiet. It's cold. We do have some severe weather down in Texas and the lower parts of the U.S., so we're going to have to navigate him through some severe thunderstorms down there. So we'll be watching that extra close here in the next hour or so.
Absolutely. And, you and I were talking a little bit earlier in the week, talking about some of these potential challenges that Santa might have. And you're talking about fog could be an issue. Are you seeing any of that so far right now?
Nothing building, but definitely it's going to get warmer as it goes farther south in the U.S. So we'll be watching for fog as we enter those later hours. And primarily, it's going to be this strong jet stream that he's dealing with right now. It's cold up there. We got double digits, negative double digits currently where Santa's at. So I'm sure he's kind of cold. But where I'm at in Florida, it's in the 60s. So he'll definitely enjoy the warm air when he makes it this far south. But again, we got some pretty strong weather in Texas, and there we're going to be really keeping a close eye on.
And we're going to be checking in with you throughout the night, Mike. So we appreciate you hopping on with your, really, I have to say, I like your Christmas sweater right there and your Christmas hat.
So I got my helper with me tonight.
Oh my gosh, look at that. That's your Rudolph. I love that. That's so terrific. All right. Well, we're going to be checking in with you, Mike, in just a little bit, but I did want to share this live look once again as Santa does face a bit of tricky weather along his journey. And speaking of that, of course, I do want to bring in Santa himself. Santa, how is everything going so far for you tonight? All right, Santa, I do not hear you. I know that you're flying very high in the sky. There might be, I'm wondering, some audio issues with you right here, but we're going to try and fix that. My producer, Julianne, is going to see if she can try and fix those audio conditions. And I appreciate you, first of all, taking the time to join us here as you journey around your sleigh. But it does appear as though we might be having some audio issues here hearing you. This is what we're going to do, Santa. We're going to try and fix that in just a moment, as we were hearing you just a little bit ago. But what we're going to do is we're going to just continue on with our live looks around the world. And once again, we're going to check in. This is another live look at Santa as he is going to be near Canada in just about 4 minutes and 35 seconds right there. We're also going to be checking in with Christina Evans in just a little bit, but I did want to talk about some cultures and how various cultures are celebrating this Christmas holiday here at home and around the world. And I'm wondering if we could actually get to our megaphone poll right here. Take a look at this. So we're going to work. Don't worry. Santa is VIP tonight. We're going to be working to see how we can get that sound back, because again, he is flying high in the sky right there. And, you know, sometimes that cell phone service just might not be the best. But as we do this, I want to continue our live coverage with this because we want to interact with you. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're taking a look at various Christmas celebrations from around the world. We're going to start this 9 o'clock hour Eastern time with the Italian American Christmas Eve. So I want to ask you this, and you can actually vote along with us. You see the QR code right there on the upper right hand side of your screen. All you have to do is scan that QR code and vote. We want to test your knowledge on this Christmas Eve, or you can just log on to livenowfox.com/connect. So what is the traditional Italian American Christmas Eve dinner called? Is it the Feast for the Birth of Jesus, the Feast of the 12 Days, the Feast with the Families, or the Feast of the Seven Fishes? And to talk more about all of these Italian American traditions, I do want to bring in Michael Di Giovanni, who is a professor of anthropology at Westchester University. And so we're going to be pivoting over to him as we continue our live coverage right here. And Michael, we appreciate you taking the time. I do see that you are in your family's kitchen right there. Michael, it does appear that you are muted. If you could just have your photographer unmute your microphone, that would be fantastic. All right, so this is what we're going to do, because it does appear that we might be having some technical difficulties, and you know, it is Christmas Eve, and so sometimes these things happen right here. So we are going to be just taking a 2-minute break here on Live Now from Fox, continuing, and we appreciate everyone who is voting right here. It looks like Feast of the Seven Fishes is winning, so we're going to step away for a 2-minute break, working to get our technical issues under control on this Christmas Eve. In the meantime, we're going to continue to let you take a look at this live NORAD shot. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Track Santa Now, our Live Now from Fox Christmas Eve special, and we appreciate you joining us right here. It does look like our senior producer, Julianne, might have fixed that cell phone signal with Santa, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and bring him in. Again, he is flying around the world, and he is very high in the sky, so sometimes these things happen on live TV right here. But it does look actually like he's joining us via Zoom. I love this technology. And so, Santa, you're joining us live right here. Can you hear us at all? All right, it does not appear as though Santa can hear us. And again, we're just going to pivot as we continue our live coverage. So this is what we're going to do. And you got to love live TV, right? This is Christmas Eve, and we appreciate you making us part of your tradition right here. So before the break, we were asking you this. What is the traditional Italian-American Christmas Eve dinner called? And it looks like the majority of you have voted Feast of the Seven Fishes. So is that correct? Well, we're going to bring in our Italian-American professor. He is the authority on this. Michael, thank you for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. We appreciate it.
Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for having me. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I appreciate it because I know that you are with your family. And so, again, you know, sometimes these things can, you know, take a turn. But you're talking about this very special tradition for Christmas Eve, and I see that you have a beautiful spread. You know, share more with us about what we're taking a look at and why is this so special?
Sure. Well, first of all, you know, welcome to Hawthorne, New Jersey and North Jersey, where we're celebrating the Vigilia di Natale, otherwise known as the Feast of the Seven Fishes. And, you know, as you can see here, we have at least 7 kinds of fish. It's a multi-course Italian-American feast the night before Christmas. But we don't really count how many fish we have. I think I counted today just for this, and we have about 10 or 11 different kinds of fish. But anyway, so for this, the reason why we do this is kind of interesting because Italian-Americans, we think that this is very much, you know, kind of connecting us with the homeland, with Italy. But actually in Italy, at least in the north and central Italy, they don't eat fish on Christmas Eve at all. They eat they eat meat, they eat tortellini and brodo, just chicken soup. But in southern Italy, where, you know, most of us came from between the 1890s and the 1920s, you know, they do eat some kind of fish, but it's really not the big deal that it is for us here in America. You know, sometimes people ask why we eat 7 fish. What's the number 7? Nobody really knows. I mean, there's 7 sacraments. You know, Genesis, it took 7 days to create the universe. In the New Testament, you got the 7 loaves and fishes. But probably, you know, in Aramaic, Jesus often said it was like, you know, 70 times 7. He would say a lot, which basically means abundance. And that's exactly what this feast is known for. So in the Middle Ages and up until when, you know, the Italian Americans left, you know, this was really thought of as, you know, you have to eat fish because you can't eat meat on the Christmas Eve. But of course, they didn't have a lot of fish in Italy at the time. But when we came to America, we saw all the abundance of food that we can have. You know, your all-you-can-eat breadsticks and your, you know, giant pizzas and things like that we have now. You know, kind of snowballed. And so we have tons and tons of different kinds of fish. Each family has their own, and part of it is a mix between the kind of traditions from the places where they came from in Italy, and then a mix of kind of what other Italian Americans eat. So my family, this family who's here now, we're from Benevento, and actually they came in the 1950s, so we're a newer Italian American family. But Benevento is near Naples. So a lot of the stuff that we have is Neapolitan.
This looks so amazing. And Michael, I know that we are kind of encroaching on some of your celebration with your family. You're actually joined by your entire family. I have to say I appreciate them for keeping their voices just a little bit. I know they're certainly not quiet as we were testing this out.
It's really hard for Jersey Italian Americans to be quiet.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to pan around? We would love to say hi.
you want to see the fish real fast or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you take us around?
All right, so you can see a bunch of different foods here. So we have the antipasti, so the beginning fish. So you have, I'll start over here. These are fried smelt or sardines. This is very popular in Palermo, Sicily. It's popular in Naples. We have, of course, calamari, right? Calamari, which is squid. This is an American crab cakes, that we also kind of mix. The antipasti, we often kind of transition into the real, what we think is the real Italian food. And then, for our first course is always pasta. So we have two different kinds. I grew up always having pasta aglio olio, which is aglio is garlic, so garlic and olive oil. We put pine nuts and actually sometimes raisins, and then you see alici, which is anchovies that's in there. This is another pasta that we have. It's with red sauce, with a spicy red sauce, and scungili. So scungili is like a sea conch. It's like a conch shell. And then we would move to the last course, the main course, where we have different, the real kind of things that we don't normally eat except on Christmas Eve. So we have eel, capidon, as they say in dialect, or anguilla. And we have bacala, which is a staple. I think all Italian Americans, that do the Feast of the Seven Fishes, you have to have salted codfish. Salted codfish is probably I think it's like one of the most popular dishes all throughout, the Western world. From lutefisk is the same thing up in the north, and bacalao and stuff in Spain and Portugal. This is we have clams, of course, over here. My favorite is actually stuffed escarole stuffed. And again, the stuffing would have anchovies in it as well. I love seafood salad, so it's a nice and bright salad, and that has at least 7 kinds of fish in it. We have mussels, clams, scungile, calamad. What else do we have?
That looks amazing, Michael, and I appreciate you taking the time to share each and every single dish with us. I noticed that you also have an audience of sorts, and we would love to say hello to your family before we have to get to a 2-minute break right there. Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you for sharing Michael with us and allowing us to delay some of your festivities. We appreciate it. I love the family celebration. That is what it's all about. Michael, thank you so much for taking the time. It's just fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Thanks so much for having me. Buon Natale. Merry Christmas.
Buon Natale. I love it. Yes. And if you were listening into Michael, we want to ask you, so what is the traditional Italian-American Christmas Eve dinner called? Okay, polls are closed, folks. And our Live Now from Fox viewers, very smart, because 64% of you chose the right answer. It is the Feast of the Seven Fishes. So thank you so much for taking the time to vote with us. We appreciate it. And we're going to be having these interactive polls throughout the night. Once again, I do want to share this live look with you of the NORAD as Santa is making his journey around the world right here. And it looks like they are headed for Cape Cod, tracking over the Atlantic in just about 40 seconds or so. And I know that you did see Santa just a short time ago. We have been having some technical difficulties. As you can see, he is dodging some tricky weather conditions right there. And so what we're going to do is this. We're going to step away for another 2-minute break here on Live Now from Fox, continuing our live coverage as we work to have Santa rejoin us here. And don't you worry, we are going to make that happen. Christmas miracles do occur. We're going to be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to our Christmas Eve special Track Santa Now. I'm your host, Stephanie Quinu. And as we continue to track Santa around the globe, I did want to share with you once again our live NORAD tracker, as it looks like he is heading for Bermuda. So some warmer weather right there in just about 45 seconds. So as promised, I did want to bring in the man of the hour himself. We have gotten those technical difficulties straightened out. Santa, I know you're flying high in the sky. I think that we have figured this out. How is everything going?
It's going wonderful. Oh my goodness, it's been cold. I can't wait to get over Bermuda here. Oh my goodness.
And you know what? We are so thrilled. I know that my children, Riley and Noah, were so excited that their mother would be joined by Santa. Here's a question that I think all the young girls and boys want to know, and the parents: the naughty or nice list, Santa. Is there still time as you are delivering presents? Can folks still turn it around?
Oh yes, you still have time. Anytime before I get to your house. All it takes is just a good deed. That's all it takes. Be kind to someone, smile at someone, and blink, you're back on the nice list.
Okay, so Riley and Noah, I know you're watching this special. Mommy just spoke with Santa. You have time to turn it around. Remember, listen to those around you. Go to bed. Make sure you don't wake up in the middle of the night. Santa, you know, what else can you share with us as we are finally able to talk to you tonight? Any surprises along your journey so far?
Not so much. There for a little bit, I thought I was going to go into a thunderstorm there, but maybe Mike can help me out with that to help me get around those thunderstorms I thought that we were going to hit. But other than that, everything's coming along really good.
I am so glad to hear that, Santa. Well, we appreciate you taking the time. I know that you're very busy. I know we're also going to be checking in with you throughout the night, so I'm going to let you go. Eyes on, it's not the road. I guess it would be the sky right there, but I no doubt all of your reindeer are making sure that you are on your way without delay. So thank you so much for joining us. It's so special to have you here on our show live as you journey around the world. So thank you.
You bet, Stephanie. I can't wait to see you again.
All right, no doubt. And we're going to be checking in with Santa in just a little bit. But if you're curious, this is where he is at the moment. And again, making his way to San Juan, Puerto Rico in just about 3 minutes or so. And we also want to share with you some live looks of, you know, some of these incredible places here around the world and here at home as we continue our live coverage right here. I did want to share that with you as you take a live look of Seattle. This is a beautiful look of the Seattle airport right there. And we want to thank our partners in Seattle as we continue our live coverage. We also want to continue thanking so many of you as you are with us here on Live Now from Fox. And so we also want to thank our partners in New York. Thank you so much, Fox 5 New York City. So we are so much more than our Live Now from Fox team. We have a total of 17 stations that we partner with each and every day for the biggest of stories and all of that live coverage. And so we did just want to take a moment as we continue to thank all of these for our coverage right there. We also want to bring in some of our other hosts. And Christina Evans, I'm going to bring you in right here. Thank you for joining us. It's always fun to see you.
So, and of course, we've been tracking Santa, and I've seen that you being able to speak to him blows my mind. So hopefully he saw that I'm on the good list this year. I'm sure of it.
Well, I have no doubt that you're on the good list, Christina. And I see that you have all these social media posts. I think it's so fun as we continue to check in with people who are celebrating this Christmas Eve. You know, what are you seeing there on the social media platforms?
Yeah, Stephanie, it's been really busy on social media. Of course, Christmas Eve, one of the days that so many families get together to enjoy the Christmas holiday season. And so I do want to show you just a few of the tweets and posts that we've been seeing and tracking here on Live Now, and Track Santa Now, I should say. Let's go ahead and take a look as we do here at some of our tweets that are in full there. You can see so many coming from folks around the nation, including President Joe Biden. Of course, the NFL also jumping into the action, as well as Sesame Street sneaking in there as well. But one of my favorites that I want to pull up for you here is actually a declaration that was put out by the Massachusetts governor. And if you can't read all of that script there on the screen, this is important because the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is now giving a special reindeer flyover permit for Santa this Christmas Eve. So I want to read this out in part. It says, whereas Santa Claus, also known as St. Nicholas, Father Christmas, or Kris Kringle, has a long-standing tradition of bringing joy, goodwill, and gifts to the children of Massachusetts and beyond during the holiday season. And whereas the people of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts welcome the spirit of generosity, kindness, and magic that Santa Claus embodies, and whereas Santa's journey on Christmas Eve requires safe passage over cities, towns, and villages of the Commonwealth. So again, the governor, I, Maura Healey, governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, do hereby officially grant permission to Santa Claus to fly over Massachusetts on December 24th, 2024. That's today, Christmas Eve. He's, of course, going to be accompanied by Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, and Rudolph. So they are all set to go there in Massachusetts. They are able to do that flyover. So very exciting for Santa. Of course, his big sleigh. You were checking in with him. He said he's headed to warmer weather just a few minutes ago. I actually think he's headed to Aruba right now, which is really fun. So hopefully he has all of his permits and paperwork taken care of there as well, Stephanie.
Absolutely. And Christina, before I let you go, we were sharing this live poll with our viewers, and I wanted to ask you, we're taking a look. Do you prefer a white Christmas or a tropical Christmas? So 60% of you say white Christmas. We were just talking about Bermuda, so I thought it would be appropriate. 40% of you say, no, you know what? I'd rather have a tropical Christmas. So Christina, what are your thoughts? Do you have one?
I do. I mean, it's so tough because both Christmases are nice. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, so not many white Christmases growing up. So that's why I'm going to say white Christmas. I think it does embody the Christmas spirit. I would love to experience one of those. Yeah, from Atlanta originally. So because of that, all of our Christmases are pretty mellow in weather-wise. So I'm going to go with white Christmas. What about you, Stephanie?
I've had both. So I grew up in Boston, so I had a lot of white blizzardy Christmases, which is so much fun. But now that I'm in Florida, I really enjoy being able to have a picnic on Christmas. So that's, you know what? I can't decide. I'm one of those people. I love it both ways. Give me something. Give me Christmas in general, and I'm just going to be a happy camper. Christina, we're going to be checking in with you throughout the night. And there we have it, a white Christmas for Christina. And so that's a live look right there as we continue our live coverage. If you haven't voted, I encourage you to do so. All you have to do is just scan that QR code right there on the screen, and you can absolutely join in. As we appreciate all of that. We are going to also share with you another live look of Santa's sleigh ride as he continues his live journey right there. We're just going to leave this for just a moment because we're going to bring in another special guest. But I wanted you to see where Santa is right now. Whoa, there he is. He's turning around. And so we continue our live coverage in just a moment. So we have another guest that we are just so excited to bring on in, and this is Brianna D. And Brianna, we are thrilled that you are joining us here on Live Now from Fox. If folks don't know who you are, well, they should, because you are just an incredibly talented triple threat. You are a singer, you're an actor, you're a dancer. You're going to be joining us throughout the night to be singing those Christmas classics and also an original song that you wrote. So if you could just tell us a little bit about the inspiration of the song that we're going to hear after the break.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the platform. And my Christmas original, Bad Christmas, is about just kind of turning the tables. You know, there are so many Christmas songs that are positive and cheerful, but we kind of forget about those who may have lost someone recently during Christmas or will not be spending the holidays with their loved ones. So I wanted to kind of bring that to the attention of listeners.
Absolutely. And so before we go to the break, can you just share with us the name of this special that we'll be hearing from?
Absolutely. So the name of my original single is Bad Christmas.
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it. So after the break, we're going to bring back in Brianna D, who is going to be performing her original song for us right here on Live Now from Fox. That performance coming up in 2 minutes. Stay with us. Welcome back to our Christmas Eve special, Track Santa Now. I am Stephanie Quinu, and tracking Santa, indeed we are. This is another live look at our NORAD, as you can see live right here, that Santa is going to be going over the Amazon rainforest in Brazil in just about 2 minutes or so. Now, before the break, I introduced you to a very special guest. This is Brianna D, and she is a singer, a songwriter, an actor, a performer. Brianna, you do it all, and you're actually going to be performing an original song for us called Bad Christmas. We're going to let you take it away right now.
Thank you so much. Here is Bad Christmas, my original song. It's gonna be a bad Christmas. Oh, without you, it's gonna be a bad Christmas. Oh, without you, 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 it's gonna be a bad Christmas. Oh, without Christmas Eve at 11 p.m. I don't know what to do when I'm happy by my side. The picture, everything, Christmas was a lie. Seeing how the snow falls on the ground, remember memories, but forgot the sound of your voice, of your voice. Bells don't sound as merry as they used to. Red and green, forget that now it's all blue. My as well sit outside and watch the floor. 'Cause it's gonna be a bad Christmas. Oh, without you, it's gonna be a bad Christmas. Oh, without you, it's gonna be a bad Christmas. Oh, without you, frozen when I'm not with you. No breaks falling, and I ended on you. And you feel it everything. I'm gonna come through. I'm know that for Christmas I won't be with you. The bells gonna sound as merry as they used to. Red and green, forget that now it's all blue. Might as well sit outside and watch the moon. Because it's gonna be a bad Christmas. Without you, it's gonna be a bad Christmas. Without you, it's gonna be a bad Christmas. Without
Brianna, that was amazing. Thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. And I just love your festive background. Just before we go quickly, you know, what are some of those Christmas Eve traditions that you are looking forward to the most?
Definitely spending time with family. We love to go out and just kind of drive by the town and look at all the Christmas lights and eat Christmas cookies, all types of hors d'oeuvres, watch Christmas movies, listen to the Christmas classics, and just everything Christmassy, you know?
Absolutely. More is more. That is what I absolutely subscribe to when it comes to Christmas traditions and celebrations. So we wish you the very best of Christmases, and thank you so much for taking the time to join us here on Live Now from Fox.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And as we continue our live coverage of Christmas Eve, I wanted to share this beautiful look with you of our nation's capital right here. As you can see, night, of course, has fallen in Washington, D.C., as there is a wreath right there on the White House. And so we continue to follow all of our live coverage right here. There we go. With our very own Mike Boylan. I want to bring in Mike Boylan back again as we continue to take a look. And before we bring him back in, I just wanted to refresh your memory right here of where exactly Santa is as we continue to follow this right here. So you're taking a live look right here of Santa, and he is, I mean, he's just incredibly efficient as he continues his way, moving towards Bolivia in just about 45 seconds or so. You know, we're going to bring Mike back in. So, Mike, I know you were talking about Santa, you know, heading to Bermuda. It's going to be, you know, a little bit warmer weather. What can he expect right now?
There's some scattered thunderstorms that way. You know, he mentioned earlier he thought he was going to hit one. He kind of moved the sleigh around the one storm we were talking about. It looks pretty good down there in South America. It's coming back north. There's going to be some storms in the Western Caribbean, Jamaica. There's fog developing. Remember we talked about fog? Nebraska, Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota. There's some pretty heavy fog. So Rudolph, hopefully his nose is so bright tonight. And then the Pacific Northwest, there's a lot of rain and heavy winds out there too. So not only do we have Texas to worry about, we got some really strong storms in Texas, tornado warnings here and there. So I'm watching that super duper close for Santa Claus. And Florida, we're looking good. My daughter just went to bed with milk and cookies on the counter, so we're ready for them here. But we definitely got weather elsewhere to worry about right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mike, I do have a question. And, you know, we have these interactive polls with our viewers. I'm curious, what kind of cookies did you leave Santa?
Chocolate chip, you know.
The good old chocolate chip. I mean, that truly is you cannot go wrong with chocolate chip cookies. I'm going to have to ask Santa what his favorite is. He's probably going to say all of them, which is probably true. I mean, my goodness, he has a sweet tooth, and he well-deserved one at that. Mike, we're going to continue to check in with you throughout the night, but we're going to definitely pass this information along to Santa as we are tracking him live via NORAD. And this is another live look right here of Santa. And in fact, I do believe that we're going to try and check Santa back in because, you know, Mike is really kind of guiding him in a way when it comes to weather. And so I wanted to bring Santa back in as we continue our live coverage right here on Live Now from Fox, and setting that up right now. All right, so it does appear, Santa, you're joining us live from your sleigh. You know, have you encountered any tricky weather at all?
Oh, it's been pretty calm. You know, these reindeer can cut through any kind of weather. We don't let the weather slow us down. Oh, no. We cut right through it.
Well, I mean, you have the most incredible reindeer of all. I want to ask you this because Mike was sharing that his daughter just left some milk and cookies out for you, saying that they decided upon chocolate chip. So I did want to ask you, do you have a favorite cookie at all?
Oh, you know, one of my favorite cookies are the ones that you decorate. I just love seeing how the children decorate each cookie. That's what's so interesting. And who doesn't like a good sugar cookie?
Absolutely. And before we let you go, Santa, because I know that you're extremely busy, how are the reindeer doing?
They're doing wonderful. They have still a ton of energy. They're going. I got to pull them and say, slow down, boys. We got this.
Wonderful. Well, Santa, again, we do appreciate you checking in with us every so often as you continue to deliver a presence around the world. What we're going to do is, as you continue your journey, we're going to continue ours. We're going to step away for a 2-minute break and continue our live Christmas Eve coverage after that. Stay with us. Welcome back to our Track Santa Now special. I am so excited for our next guests. We're actually joined by a panel of guests right here, and I'm going to bring them in right now. You're taking a look at Austin Beckett, who is a chef who is going to be presenting some delicious dishes for us. And of course, Kim Gamez, who is the founder of Soberish. You're going to be presenting a mocktail for us. And we do hear, rumblings perhaps of a little performance, a little flair, if you will. But Austin, I wanted to start with you. Tell us a little bit about what you are going to be preparing for this special dish tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a private chef here in the South Florida area, and I've gotten the opportunity over the past couple of Christmases to mostly travel Southeast Asia with my wife. And so what I loved most was the different cuisines that they provide for you during the holiday season, specifically in the Philippines, in Japan, and in Korea. So what I've prepared for us tonight is our traditional American style green bean casserole, but I'm actually doing it with a Filipino twist called Bicol Express. So this is like a spicy coconut style stew with pork belly. So basically what I've done this evening is I've taken, the traditional green bean casserole sort of ingredients, and I've incorporated it with the spicy coconut, and on the inside, which is a little bit maybe too Filipino for some American palates, it's a fermented shrimp sauce called bagaong. And what that is it's a very salty, sort of umami-driven fish sauce that I definitely think complements the dish quite well. And of course, you have the crispy onions on top. This is an absolute banger of a dish for anybody who wants to have some sort of spice or some sort of coconut flair with like a Southeast Asian style twist to kind of like impress your family, or kind of, bring that culture from across the country or from across the world even, and kind of share it with family that may not be able to travel during the holidays. And so the other one that I've made was I took the traditional Japanese milk bread and I turned it into a sesame dinner roll with a miso butter on top. So this one right here, you can actually pull it apart, and it's got that beautiful sort of textbook milk bread texture in the middle, super soft, and with the umami of the miso butter, it's quite delectable, to be honest with you. Dip it into your coconut sauce here with the Bicol Express casserole. And last but not least, what I have here is kimchi Brussels sprouts. Now, this one's gaining a lot of popularity in the United States lately because kimchi is one of those buzzwords that I think deserves to be a buzzword. It's one of the best ingredients that I've come to work with while I've been across the globe during holidays and whatnot. And Brussels sprouts are one of those perfect sort of matches made in heaven with this. So these three dishes, I feel like, are amongst some of the best Asian flavors that you can bring to sort of introduce your family to a Asian American style dish. And if you want to see any of these dishes, I do have a lot of videos on my Instagram at ouijefe. It's OUI_Jefe. That's on Instagram. Or you can visit my website at chefaustinbeckett.com. I have these recipes online, as well as some of my other work that I've done. And I have this recipe with the green bean casserole is one of my absolute favorites. I've done it for a couple clients down here. They love it so much, and they really get to see that sort of influence that comes from Southeast Asia.
That is so fun, Austin, and it looks absolutely delicious. All of the flavor profiles that you are sharing with us sound so incredible. And, Christmas, of course, not just about the dishes, very important, but also about the beverages. Everyone wants to pair the two together and just enjoy. And Kim, share with us a little bit about what you are going to be preparing tonight.
Hi, thank you so much. Proud Michigander, and I actually wanted to take a spin on what we call a Michigan mule. So this recipe is tweaked just a little bit, and we're going to be calling it a mistletoe mule. So the base ingredients are cranberry juice, ginger beer, and then we're actually doing 3 options. And so we always say there should be a drink for everyone at the party. And so we're going to be doing an alcoholic version, a non-alcoholic version, and then a soberish option. And so if we want to start with the alcoholic version, you're going to do equal parts cranberry juice, ginger beer, and then either gin or vodka. who wants to have an alcoholic option, but with those same base ingredients. Next, let's say I want to make a non-alcoholic version for my daughter, and I'm going to have the same cranberry juice, ginger beer, which is naturally non-alcoholic. That's kind of a misconception. A lot of people think ginger beer, because it says beer, has alcohol in it. It does not. And we're going to leave it as is. And then the third option is going to be our cranberry juice, ginger beer. And you know what? I must be a little bit nervous because I'm on national TV and because Santa is coming tonight. I forgot to add my mint syrup because that's what's going to change it from the Michigan mule to the mistletoe mule. So I'm going to add a splash of the mint syrup in each one. Now I'm actually going to skip on my soberish option because I'm going to add one of our mojito soberish shots that is going to give a buzz without the booze. All right, now if you really want to impress your guests, you've already made 3 drinks, so make sure that everyone has a cocktail at the party. I'm going to show you a quick bar trick. Hopefully that's okay. All right, you're going to get 3 glasses. You can put them side by side. You can put them in a pyramid, however you want. Now, the trick is you're going to put enough ice in the bottom that you can sit those glasses one on top of another. And so they're a little bit tight here, so I'm going to add a little bit more ice to this one. Now see, they're sitting with enough distance that it'll actually pour one into each glass. All right, now I'm just gonna top the top and we're gonna pour 3 mistletoe mules.
Kim, I have to say, this is incredibly impressive that you can, I'm just staring in awe. I mean, this is amazing.
You know, it's so funny. I did that trick. So my husband and I used to have a bar. We actually owned it for 17 years. And that was like my signature bar trick. And I was on the front page of the paper and we found that paper. And my kids, so I'm a mother of 5, and my kids did not believe me that I could do that trick. And I was like, I used to do this with like 17 glasses. Are you kidding me? And I did it and I was recording myself. And we ended up, that video went like mega viral. And since then, my kids are like, I can do it. They can totally do it. Trust me, you should try this. Now, you should garnish these. Obviously, like you can add ice, but you should garnish these with mint and lime. But I was trying to fool you all. Did you hear I'm a mother of 5? This is cilantro because I was on the struggle bus with the holidays. So I'm not going to add cilantro to my drink. But yes, you can add your lime and some ice and a straw if you'd like. But there you go. You have your own alcoholic, non-alcoholic, and soberish mistletoe mule.
Both of these are just so incredible. I mean, I am in awe of the both of you with your skills and your talent. So, you know, just quickly before we go, and I'll start with you, Austin, you know, a special Christmas memory perhaps that you might have, not to put you on the spot, but do you have a special Christmas memory perhaps that revolves around dishes or food or perhaps not?
Yeah, so actually last year, whenever me and my wife were visiting her family, we all went to Japan for Christmas. And I just remember sitting in Shibuya in Japan, and we're standing outside of a 7-Eleven, and we're all eating the egg salad sandwiches from the 7-Eleven in Tokyo. And it was an absolutely incredible moment, just being in the vibe and the moment. And if you've been to Japan, especially during the holidays, you know how incredible the convenience stores are. So it's just one of those things that are super memorable. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, and really that's what the holidays are all about. It's just these memories, and it doesn't have to be anything extravagant or anything wild, but it's just being in the moment, like you said, Austin, that really makes it just so special. Kim, what about you?
I'm so glad you mentioned that. Every time I think about the holidays, all I can think about is going to my grandma and grandpa's house for Christmas Eve. And they always wanted to keep Christmas Eve dinner and cocktails or drinks or anything super simple. I mean, I remember some, you know, Christmas Eves that we'd have, you know, cold meat sandwiches and macaroni and cheese, or, you know, a simple lasagna or something like that. I mean, it was just all about really the family and something simple. So nobody had to like worry about being in the kitchen, that we could be worrying about what board game we were going to play next. And those are really our memories. And we did that tonight with our kids. My grandparents have passed, and it was really nice to see tonight we still had the pasta and the board games. And it's so great just to be able to have like a simple meal and fun with the family.
And I think that's just so important to remind ourselves, because I know, we all want to make everything the best and the most extravagant and kind of keep topping ourselves year after year. But sometimes going back to the basics, is just so much more powerful and wonderful, because you take the stress away and you get to focus on what really matters, which is family, friends, and just that time together. Austin, Kim, thank you so much for taking the time out of your Christmas Eves to join us here for our Track Santa Now special. We appreciate it.
Thank you very
Thank you for
much.
having us.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And once again, here is a live look out of New York City. What a beautiful look this is, as you can see that Christmas tree lit up with the dove right there on top. And we also wanted to share a number of other live looks with you. This is a live look, and our planning manager, Carla, is going to help me out right here, because we do have access to so many of these live looks right here. So this is a live look, and she's going to be looking it up for us right now, because she is doing such a great job at rotating all of these views for us. But this is a live look right here from one of the many cities where we have cameras. This is Philadelphia right here. And we do want to thank our Fox Philly team, Fox 29, for all that you do. Thank you so much for, joining us right here on Live Now from Fox throughout our coverage. And this is a live look. I believe that Carla shared this with me. I believe that this is Orlando, if I am correct. And Carla is taking a look at her list, giving me the thumbs up. Yes, I knew that I recognized that landscape. So thank you so much to our Fox 35 Orlando team for all that you do with, just providing all of that incredible coverage. And, we are so much stronger together, and we appreciate that so much. As we continue our live look right here of Track Santa Now. There he is. There is Santa set to arrive in Port-au-Prince, Haiti in just about 57 seconds. And so we do continue to share all of this with you, continuing our live coverage as well. And, we were talking about some of these traditions that we have, and I did want to share some of these other traditions as well as we continue our coverage right here on Live Now from Fox. For more on this, I did want to send it over to my colleague, Christy Matino, as she takes a look at some of these coverages as well as traditions around the world.
Thanks, Stephanie. We're going to bring back in our Christmas correspondent, James Cooper. He runs whychristmas.com. He's been telling us about Christmas across different countries. Right now, we want to talk about Finland. James, I understand that on Christmas Eve, they go to the cemetery. It's not really a place that you would think you'd be going on Christmas. Can you explain why?
Yeah, no, it's a bit unusual, isn't it? Well, it's really because of the weather in December in Finland. It gets very dark early there. It's dark about 3 p.m. And of course, there's often lots of snow up in Finland as well. So over the years, people have taken to putting candles or lanterns on the graves of their loved ones and families and friends. And people will now visit cemeteries on Christmas Eve afternoon. It's actually become such a popular tradition that often the police have to be there to move the traffic around so people can visit their friends and loved ones. And, you don't get big traffic jams. So yeah, an unusual but very popular tradition in Finland.
And on a little bit of a lighter note, Santa Claus, we know him here as Santa Claus. A lot of other countries know him as Santa, but he has a different name in Finland, right?
Yeah, rather confusingly, the direct translation of Santa in Finnish is the Christmas goat. This comes because in Finland and parts of Sweden, one of their traditional midwinter Christmas figures was a big scary goat, and you had to give it presents to keep it happy rather than it giving you presents. But over the years, the Santa figure became more popular, but he still has the name of the Christmas goat. So it's kind of weird because it's translated as Christmas goat, but it's definitely Santa as a man.
All right, and staying on the topic of goats and food, we want to talk about what they eat in Finland for Christmas, the day before and even the day after.
Yeah, well, they like lots of porridge. On Christmas Eve morning and Christmas Day for breakfast, you'll often have porridge, a special plum porridge. And for your main Christmas dessert, you often have a special kind of porridge as well. And if there's an almond in it, if you find almond in your porridge, it means you're going to have good luck for the next year. They also like cooking lots of meat, like pork legs, and turkeys becoming more popular. So yeah, some good food up in Finland at Christmas.
All right. Thank you to James Cooper. And make sure that you make some porridge. You might have some good luck. Back to you, Stephanie.
All right. Thank you, Christy, for that. It's always interesting to see how different cultures celebrate so differently and so wonderfully. And that's also what we wanted to bring you here on Live Now from Fox, is just a look around the world as we see that Santa is continuing on his way, now heading for Cuba in just about 1 minute or so. And you can see just some light snow right there. Whether that actually touches the ground, you know, that is to be determined. But speaking of that, we do want to bring back in Mike Boylan with Mike's weather page. And Mike, we appreciate you tracking the weather for Santa, just communicating what he needs to navigate around as we take a look at the very latest as he's on his way to Cuba. You know, what can you share with us?
Well, he got through the rough weather in Jamaica we were talking about. Things are pretty good now going to the southern part of the U.S. There are some strong storms in Texas and Louisiana stretching up towards Arkansas a little bit. He's going to have to worry about. And then, of course, the Northwest, very windy, a lot of rain up there around Oregon and Washington. And then we got that big, thick fog in North Dakota, South Dakota, down through Kansas. So those are probably the biggest hurdles the rest of the night. Then it's smooth sailing after that. So
oh, well, that's good to know.
Yeah, all in all, it's not too bad.
That's what we like to hear. So, you know, Mike, you know, I've been asking a lot of our guests kind of what those favorite Christmas memories are. Do you have one by chance?
You know, I think now that I'm a dad with kids, and luckily, you know, my mom and dad and my wife's mom, we've had a lot of memories. And I think that's a common theme I heard from your other guests. It's just that tradition. You know, it starts around Thanksgiving for us, and we got hay rides. We like to drive around and look at Christmas lights and just everything that's wrapped up in a season. You know, just, you know, even going out to eat and seeing restaurants decorated. It's just that vibe you get. Spending time with family is the biggest thing. You know, we have our little traditions, just eating Pizza Hut on Christmas Eve and, you know, opening presents and just, you know, cooking breakfast on Christmas Day. It's just that looking forward to that every year with family is the biggest thing for me.
Absolutely. So you brought up right after Thanksgiving, I do have to ask you, because this is a hotly debated topic and we don't have a poll on this, but I just happened to think of it. You know, is there a such thing as decorating too early for you? I know a lot of people want to do it right after Thanksgiving. Some people do it before. Other people say, absolutely not. We're going to wait until midway through December. Where do you stand on this issue?
Well, I've changed. Okay, everybody's allowed to change. Okay, and I was that stubborn guy that, you know, it's too early, too early. But you know what? I enjoy this season as our family does. That I want to enjoy it more than just 3 or 4 weeks. So we do it about a week early, and I see nothing wrong with that. Everybody else is doing it. I'm like, well, we're gonna do it too. You know, it just makes the season last a little longer because everything just seems like it goes by so fast the older you get. And I want to soak it all in as long as I can. So
I'm on the same page with you, Mike. You know, I was also perhaps judgmental, if I might use that word, with people who started to decorate early. And then I'm now firmly on the other side, and I decorate very early on, and I enjoy it. I mean, hey, if it brings you joy, right? As we get older, if it brings you joy and it doesn't harm others, why not? Absolutely.
You only live once, you know, make the best of it. It's my motto. I mean, enjoy every second.
I love that, especially as we look towards the new year. I think that's so important to also just keep that in mind as well. Mike, we're going to be checking in with you, so we appreciate this continued coverage as you work to keep Santa navigating safely throughout the skies. We're going to be checking in with Mike in just a little bit. But I also wanted to share this with you because, gosh, this is truly also what the season is about, just the joy and the lights filling the sky right here as we do work to bring Santa back on, and we're going to continue with that as well. So I did want to share these live looks with you as we continue to track all of that. But I am going to work to bring Santa back on and see if we're able to take him. And we're going to bring that back in. I know that we were having some issues with perhaps, there we go. I do think that we have him right here. So we're going to work to bring him in. And Santa, I don't know if you can hear me or not. We see you. You look fantastic flying high in the sky. How are things going?
Oh, things are going wonderful. I'm just We just came out of Jamaica a little bit. They put in those Jamaican oats for the deer. Oh my gosh. Woo-wee. Oh my gosh. It's tough being behind these deer sometimes.
So, Santa, I have to ask you this. You know, we've been talking a lot. You know, people are leaving you milk and cookies, and obviously your reindeer are getting very well fed. Do you ever get full?
No.
No.
I have an insatiable appetite for cookies. Oh my gosh. And all the milk I can drink. We're spending a lot of energy here, Stephanie. We're spending a lot of energy here flying this fast, getting through the skies, getting up and down those chimneys. I'm telling you what, I can burn some calories here.
I have no doubt about it. My goodness, you are doing so much work all in one night. You have earned those cookies. I'm sure they are giving you the fuel that you need. You know, do you have a favorite cookie? I know you were mentioning the cookies that children design and all those things. Do you really enjoy milk paired with them, or do you prefer water? I mean, what are, you know, share with us, give us some insight, because we rarely get to talk with you.
Yeah. No, I like a variety of cookies, of course, but I just like to see the artwork that they do on the cookies that they decorate. But yeah, as far as milk, oh my gosh, yes, any kind of milk is good. I like whole milk especially, but I like some cocoa too, some hot chocolate also.
All right, Santa, thank you so much. Before we let you go, anything else that you want to share with our viewers as they are, you know, really winding down perhaps their night? Any recommendations, advice, anything you want to share?
Well, yeah, get a good night's sleep. We're going to have a busy day tomorrow, and you might hear the pitter patter of the hooves on your roof. Oh my gosh, but don't try to catch me, okay?
Good advice there, because yes, you can't get Santa's presents if you're still awake, and you know, sharing that with my kids as well. Santa, we're going to check in with you in just a little bit, and if you're curious, this is another live look of where Santa is right now, actually heading for Fort Lauderdale, Florida in just about 33 seconds. So really making his way around the world, which is just so incredible right there. We do also want to continue celebrating our Christmas traditions by heading to Mexico. And for that, I did want to share a trivia question for you, because we're going to have a conversation. But take a look at this. You know, you were right on the money with the previous trivia question. But in Mexico, which of these is often served with Christmas dinner? Are they traditionally tamales, churros, tostadas, or the last one right there? And I don't want to mispronounce it because that's new to me. Elote is what Carla is sharing with me. So these are the four options right there. You can vote with the QR code right there on the upper right-hand side of your screen. And we would love for you to join in with us as we continue our coverage right here. All right, so to talk more about this, I do want to bring in Salvador Ordorica, the CEO of the Spanish Group, who's going to be talking more about these traditions. Salvador, thank you for joining us.
Hello. Nice to be here, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. At first, I wasn't sure who was joining you. I know this is your dog, but he had reindeer ears and he was looking down, and I thought, oh my gosh, did you find a reindeer to join? But that is your beloved dog, you know. And I know that Christmas Eve and all these traditions are so near and dear to your heart. So share with us a little bit about, you know, the Mexican traditions that you so enjoy.
For Christmas, usually the family will be making tamales pretty much all day. It's a pretty involved process. Sometimes we'll have ponche navideño, which is like a special holiday Christmas punch. Oliver, my dog, he's always a big part of our celebrations. We'll gather around with the family. Right now, I'm at a big family party, and we have everything. We have tamales, Mexican food, tacos. Really excited to be here.
So what's your favorite part of Christmas? I mean, of course, the food is always a wonderful part of it, but it goes beyond that. It goes, you know, into the spirit and the embodiment of it. And for you, what is your favorite part?
I think my favorite part is definitely being with family, being together with family, enjoying all of the friends, the gift giving, the spirit of Christmas, which is togetherness, which is really just celebration, the time off, and really a time to reconnect with what's most important in life is family and close loved ones.
And for you, when it comes to traditional Mexican Christmas memories, traditions, celebrations, do you have a particular one?
I think the most traditional, the most, I mean, really, gift giving is definitely a big part. We do like a secret Santa, intercambio de regalos, and we'll each give each other a gift, and we won't know who it's from, and then we'll open it at a certain time, and it's a really fun part of Christmas for all of us.
Absolutely.
And then also the piñatas. That's a really fun part. There's no piñata here though, but when I'm visiting family in Mexico, we have piñatas.
So with piñatas, are they traditionally filled with something specific for Christmas, or is it whatever one's heart desires?
Usually it's just candy. Usually it's candy, small treats, but I'm sure there are a lot of other variations to it.
So also with the piñatas, is this only for children, or I'm just curious, do adults also get involved? Is this like a family affair?
It's a family affair. I mean, the children are the ones that are most excited, but I love piñatas. I love breaking them open. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And Salvador, I appreciate you. I know that you're celebrating right now with your friends. Before we let you go, is there anything else that you would like to share?
I can walk around and show what we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Give us a tour, the inside look right here, and I'm going to take you full so you can walk around right here. As your dog is so well behaved, I have to say. I mean, he's just sitting on the chair right there as you're touring the house, so I appreciate that. And here we go. We have a whole gathering. Wow. So Salvador, share with me what we're looking at right here.
What?
Share with me a little bit with the dishes and any of the goodies that you particularly enjoy.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your celebration. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All right, Salvador, we're going to let you go. Get back to your family, your friends. Merry Christmas to you. Feliz Navidad.
Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad.
Absolutely. All right, Salvador, thank you so much. And if you were listening into our conversation with Salvador, you would know what the answer is. So we're going to close the poll. 81% of you says tamales. And guess what? You are absolutely correct. In Mexico, that is what is most often served with Christmas dinner. So we appreciate Salvador for sharing a little bit more with us on that. What we're going to do right now is we're going to step away for a 2-minute break. After that, though, stick around because we are going to have a trivia game. Christina Evans is going to be joining me. We are going to be quizzed by trivia master Elizabeth James. And Christina was mentioning that she has been studying. I have not. And so we pretty much know who the winner might be. But you know what? This is just all fun on this Christmas Eve. So we hope you stick around for that trivia game. Stay with us. Welcome back to our Track Santa Now Christmas Eve special. Time right now is 10:16 Eastern, 7:16 Pacific, and we hope that you are just having an absolutely wonderful night as we continue to track Santa on his way. This is a live look right here at the NORAD, and it looks like he is going to be entering South Carolina in just a number of seconds. But to speak more on this, I do want to bring in Christina Evans, who has been tracking all of this throughout the evening. Christina, thank you for joining us again. So share with us, Santa's journey and what that is looking like.
Man, Stephanie, Santa is really getting a move on. I haven't been able to keep, as I feel like every time I look away from the screen, he's in another state, like you just mentioned there. He has now entered South Carolina. I do want to pull up our NORAD tracker as well, so everybody at home can also see where Santa is at this moment. As you see there, in just about a minute, he'll be arriving in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So that's going to be so huge for all those boys and girls there. I hope that they're already asleep. Of course, you submitted your Christmas list weeks ago. Santa is now coming to drop off some of those goodies. And as I was saying, Santa has been really on the move so far. He has delivered over 5.7 billion gifts at this point. That's right, 5.7 billion gifts. So Santa is getting a move on. You've been checking in with him throughout the night. And I don't know if you know this, Stephanie, Santa's actually pretty up there in age as well. Did you know he's nearly 1,800 years old? I just found that out, so that's a little free trivia there for you as well. So did want to go ahead and also show you what's going on social media. Continuing throughout the night, showing you, look there at Sesame Street, putting this out. Merry Christmas from all of your friends on Sesame Street. Such a cute picture of that tree there. Elmo also is in the Christmas spirit right now. He put out these cookies. He said, these cookies are for Santa and no one else. You know what, Elmo? I'm so glad that you put that disclaimer out there because they look really good. I would have loved to try them, but I will let Santa have them. All right, also showing you our colleague, Andy Mack. Wanted to bring this. He put this out on social media, a picture of him and his lovely family saying, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. So Merry Christmas to Andy Mack as well and his son. So cute there in that picture, little Dallin. Adorable. So glad that we were able to show you that. And of course, another look at what's happening around the country. Of even the Empire State Building is in the Christmas spirit. As you can see there on the screen, lit up with red, green, and white, looking like a little bit of a candy cane in the sky there in New York City. So it's awesome to see that. So did want to show you a few things. Of course, we were continuing to track Santa. I want to show him one more time here. As you can see, he is now heading to North Carolina. He's already made it through the state of South Carolina. Stephanie, I have to ask you, are you surprised at all at how fast Santa is able to move around the country? I mean, I know he's amazing, he's special, he's all the things. I just did not realize he was going to be moving this quickly.
No wonder, Christina, he says that he needs all of those cookies because he is burning all of that energy right and left, just flying through the sky and delivering all of those presents. So, Christina, I have to ask you, you were saying that you have been doing a lot of prepping for this trivia panel. I am completely unprepared. Are you ready to do this?
I'm all ready. In fact, Stephanie, just for this trivia segment to show you how in the Christmas spirit I am going to pull out the big guns here, putting on my Santa hat. My thinking cap is going to be doubling as a thinking cap for this round of trivia. I'm all ready to get started and talk about some of the fun Christmas trivia.
Okay, well, I'm a little nervous now, I have to say. I mean, you are talking a big game there, Christina. All right, okay, so I think we're ready to do this. We're going to bring in Elizabeth James. Elizabeth, you are a trivia master. You're the author of Trivia to Go Family Challenge Holiday Tradition. You are going to be putting me and Christina through the trivia realm, and my planning manager, Carla, is going to be popping this up, so I'm going to be sharing this with everyone as we take a look at the very first question. So I haven't seen these. Elizabeth, what's the first question that Christina and I are going to be talking about?
Absolutely. Question number 1. South Africa has a unique Christmas tradition of eating fried what on Christmas Day? Is it A, caterpillars, B, grasshoppers, C, frog legs, or D, locusts?
Okay, so before Christina and I answer this, we invite all of our audience to join in, participate, and all you have to do is scan the QR code right there up on the right-hand side of your screen, or you can vote on livenowfox.com/connect. It looks like frog legs right now. It has all of the votes. So we're going to take just a brief look at this. I'm going to be contemplating. I'm looking at the list right here. I know Christina probably already knows the answer. We're going to share the answer afterwards. Okay, so Christina, I will let you go first. What do you think that it is? I can pop it back up if you want.
I'm going to decide. I'm going to have to side with the audience on this one. I think it's frog legs. I don't think I prep for South African Christmas traditions, but I'll be excited to learn a little bit more. Hopefully it's frog legs. That's what I'm going to go with.
Okay, so I'm going to bring this up for our viewers right here, and it looks like frog legs is winning. So we have caterpillars, grasshoppers, frog legs, and locusts. So this is my thought. We're in South Africa. I'm going to say, I'm thinking caterpillars or grasshoppers. So I'm going to go with Elizabeth. I'm going to go with caterpillars.
Well, Stephanie, I'm actually really impressed because the answer is caterpillars. And we're not talking just any caterpillars. Specifically, they eat the emperor moth caterpillars, which is considered a delicacy there and believed to bring good luck in the new year. And people say they're very nutritious and that they taste like tea.
That they taste like cheese.
Tea.
Oh, tea. Okay, I was going to be like, okay, well, there you go. Who knew? Okay, they taste like tea. Maybe that makes more sense than cheese. Okay, so there you go. All right, so we have another trivia question that we're going to pop up right here. All right, it is, in Venezuela's capital city, there is a tradition that goes along with Christmas Eve church. What is it? All right, they pass out cookies on the way to church. They have a bubble gum blowing contest. They roller skate to church, or they dress up in costumes for church. Okay, so our audience really feels like they pass out cookies on the way to church. That seems to be the way to go. So, I guess, Christina, I'll go first to give you some time. I don't know. I kind of am siding with the audience on this one, passing out cookies. I kind of want to say they dress up in costumes just because I feel like that would be really fun. But my goodness, passing out cookies seems to make more sense. And so do I go that way or do I go with dressing up in costumes? Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna poll the audience. That is my lifeline right here. I will say they pass out cookies on the way to church. That is my final answer. I may regret it, but I'm just gonna go with it.
And Christina, what do you think?
That's your answer, Stephanie. I'm gonna go with the other one, the costumes. I'm gonna do costumes just because you went with passing out cookies.
Okay.
Okay. Well, actually, this was a red herring because the real answer is that they roller skate to church.
Wow.
So this is a rather new tradition. It kind of started in the 1950s, and it involves families and kids staying out all night long, singing Christmas songs and roller skating together before roller skating to the early morning mass at sunrise. Now, unfortunately, due to increasing violence in the city, the tradition is not now as popular as it once was, but it sure sounds like a lot of fun to me.
Oh, wow. That is kind of fun.
It does sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we have one more, Elizabeth, and I'm going to pull this up right here. Which country is believed to have invented the candy cane? Is it Germany? Is it Italy? Is it England, or is it the United States? So we're seeing Germany kind of taking the lead right here. Italy, England, not so many votes there for the United States. As we think about maybe older cultures, perhaps I'm going to go with that. Candy canes have been around for a very long time. Christina, do you want to go first, or do you need some more time?
England.
Oh, I'm sorry. What you said? England?
No, what were the options again? It was Germany, England,
Italy, and the United States.
Italy, and the United States. Okay. Man, like you said, I'm assuming that candy canes have been around for a very long time. So I'm going to go with one of the older societies. I'm going to guess Germany. I know a lot of our Christmas traditions do come from there. So that's what I'm going to go with. I could be wrong, but hey, that's going to be my final answer.
I agree with you, Christina. That is my final answer as well. When I think about Christmas traditions and kind of older cultures, I mean, we may be tied in all of this, but I agree. Germany.
Yep. Well, ding ding, you guys are both right. And you're right that a lot of our traditions do come from Germany, including the candy cane. Now, we don't know if this is totally true, but the legend is that the candy cane was invented by a German choir master in the 1670s. And he created it because he wanted to help the boys of his choir stay quiet during the Christmas service. So he took a normal sugar stick and he added a hook to the end so that it looked like a shepherd's crook. But one of the most interesting facts to me about the history of the candy cane is that it was not until around the 1900s when candy canes got their iconic red and white stripes. Up until then, they were just plain white.
Oh, well, that's not as much fun.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, I learned a lot from this few moments with you on Christmas traditions. And gosh, I did not know most of this. So thank you for joining us. It was really fascinating. You know,
thank you for having me.
Is there another, I mean, I know we've run out of like little questions, but is there any other little tidbit that you would want to share with our viewers before we let you go?
Well, you know, it's exactly like what you guys said. You know, I do this book with my kids, and I kind of gave them the hint that like so much of the traditions that we have around Christmas is almost always seems to come back to Germany. So I've told them whenever I have a question about the trivia, you know, to guess Germany. And so they always know that now. So I think it's really fascinating and how different cultures have kind of taken it, kind of like you see with the roller skating, and made it their own. And I think that's a really lovely way to just learn to appreciate our holidays and the larger world that we live in together.
And truly, there is no wrong way to celebrate, right? Whether it's roller skates, whether it's cookies, whether it's candy canes, it's just all about joy and enjoying. Christina, an admiral opponent, really a colleague, but it was a lot of fun. And I love your Santa hat, so thank you for wearing it.
Of course, and I'm just glad, Stephanie, you took home the crown. So LiveNOW there in Orlando gets to say that they have the bragging rights this Christmas season. You did a fantastic job. 2 out of 3. I mean, those are pretty tough. So congratulations, Stephanie.
Well, thank you very much. It was just a lot of fun. So thank you to our panel as we continue our live look at NORAD. And I also wanted to share some live looks with you. This is a live look from Houston, Texas, as we do thank our Houston Fox team for their continuing coverage. And it's a beautiful look right there as we continue to take a look at this. Meanwhile, you are taking a live look from Atlanta, and that is just gorgeous. That's actually where Christina Evans grew up, and she was sharing that with us. So a beautiful look right there with the red and green lights dotting the sky top right there. And finally, I did want to share one last look before we head to break. This is a look at Seattle's airport. And in fact, you're taking a look at one of those planes taking off right there. All right. Well, we are going to step away for a 2-minute break. But before we do, we have, oh my goodness, a preview of someone who is going to be joining us. None other, oh my, than the Grinch himself, and some might say that he is he's trying to steal Christmas. So we're gonna, you know, we're gonna have a conversation with him, with his adorable dog. Stick around. And we're gonna, yes, Mr. Grinch, settle down, sir. We're gonna get to you in 2 minutes, okay? All right. Yes, there we go. All right. See you in 2 minutes. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Stephanie Quinu. Before the break, we were sharing with you, and I had to settle him down, folks. We were sharing with you that we were going to be joined by a special guest. And yes, we are joined with him right now, Mr. Grinch. Yes, thank you for joining us. You know, how goes it, I guess I should say?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. It's fine. You know, I would say it's a little gross how some of you are celebrating Christmas just a little too early. You know, let it have its day.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if I agree with you or not. You know, why can't people celebrate it early?
It's gross. Okay, let everything have its time. Okay, like my gut, it doesn't react until the burrito hits. You know what I'm saying?
No, I actually have no clue with what you're saying right now, but you know what? I'm polite. I'm going to say I do. Nod and smile, as they say. Gosh, you know, I'm at a loss for words, Mr. Grinch.
A lot of people are, and when they're faced with this kind of beauty, you know, they're absolutely just in awe. So I get it.
I mean, some might use the word awe, others might use other words. I don't know. But Mr. Grinch, I also have another special guest that I do have to bring in, maybe to settle you down a little bit. And there he is. There he is, Santa himself. So okay, Mr. Grinch, before you know, get all in a tizzy, Santa, you know, you were sharing with me that you have a naughty and nice list. It's a very thick book. Where does the Grinch stand when it comes to naughty or nice right now?
Well, he's been known to steal some trees and some decorations. Man, I'm a little torn on that right now. I think it could be on the nice list because I know his heart got a little warmer. I know it did. You know, his opening statement about it being gross and maybe it's a little early. I might have to check my list twice.
All right, Mr. Grinch, your rebuttal.
Wow. Wow, Santa. Wow.
Wow. That's all you got to say?
Listen.
Leave the trees alone. The Christmas trees. Come on.
Hey. Look behind me, Santa. You see that?
Is there lights in it?
Well, there were. You know, when I ripped it out of Mayor Mayhew's lawn, they stopped working.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I haven't put lights on it yet.
So, you know, Mr. Grinch, I mean, Santa's being very nice to you, giving you the opportunity to continue growing your heart. I mean, thoughts, are you open to this, possibly exploring the possibility that you might turn a corner, might grow that heart a few sizes more?
You know, I was just talking about this with Max. I was saying, Max, and he looked at me like this. And I said, you know, maybe this whole being grumpy isn't totally worth it. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, growth doesn't happen overnight. Okay. You can't just expect me to just, you know, get on board on this Christmas train right off the bat. But I'm getting there.
Well,
You know?
I mean, okay, can I just point something out? Santa's too polite to point this out, but you are wearing Santa's garb.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I made it myself. You know, I may have made it with some ulterior motives, but, you know, in the end, I think it's a great tribute.
Well, it is. I mean, as they say, imitation is the greatest form of flattery,
Yes.
Santa. And no doubt you must be flattered, you know, that the Grinch wants to be you, even if he may not fully admit it to himself just yet. I feel like this is a journey that may be days in the making.
I think it's just a disguise so he can get into places. I'm just a little torn on that too, but we'll see. He's getting better and better every year, so I think
Okay. That is
I
a
think I'll
fact.
roll with it.
Okay.
Nobody
Well,
said it.
okay. So, Mr. Grinch, you know, Santa is very busy. He is continuing to tour the world right here, taking his precious time to even have this conversation with you. So, Santa, we're going to let you go as you continue your tour around the world, and we appreciate you dropping in. But you know, I'm gonna have a heart-to-heart with Mr. Grinch right now. You know, now that so Santa is not here, it's just you and me, right? We can really just be honest about all of this. I mean, why not cut him some slack? What's going on? Where's this anger coming from, Mr. Grinch?
Listen. I think there's a lot of confusion. I don't hate Santa. You know, he's doing his job. You know, he's doing what he's supposed to do. I think, you know, there's just a certain level of obnoxious when it comes to people who just love Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Like, look what Martha did to the house. She put lights everywhere. Like, you know, maybe I like to sit in the dark. You never think about that? Maybe I don't want to be surrounded by somebody caroling all the time. Maybe you should just shut your mouth. You ever think about that? There's just this obnoxiousness.
Well, you know what? I think, you know, despite your demeanor and your delivery, you have a point here, is that, you know, everyone celebrates Christmas in their own way, and there's no right way to do that. Some people love the lights. I personally really love the lights. Other people like to sit in the dark. And you know what? We're not here to judge. We're here to have joy. So, you know, I appreciate you making that point, although I would say perhaps the delivery, the tone may need a bit of massaging.
Okay. All right. We're going to have to work on that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we're going to be checking in with you throughout the night. So, you know, maybe practice in front of the mirror, maybe practice in front of Max. I mean, he is such a wonderfully attentive dog. And there he is, right. Look at that face. Just look at that face. I mean, how could you not love Christmas? Oh, my goodness. He gets so many brownie points for putting up with you, I have to say.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I give him a lot of crap here and there, you know.
Oh, my.
He's grown on me, you know.
Okay.
He's grown on me quite a bit.
You know what? There is room in your heart. There is hope for you yet, Mr. Grinch. So we'll see whether you're on the naughty or nice list. You know what? Well, my goodness, sir. Hopping off. Where did you go? You know what? Forget him. He wasn't happy with that conversation. Hello, we hear you, but we don't see you. I think actually Max hung up on you, so maybe you need a timeout. All right. So speaking of that, we're gonna figure that out. We're gonna get him back later once he has better manners. But in the meantime, let's continue our live looks right here as we continue to take a look around the world. Take a look at this. A beautiful live look right here of Detroit, and my goodness, what a gorgeous view. And we thank our Fox 2 Detroit team for all of their coverage as we really just want to take the opportunity to thank all of our Fox O&O teammates right here for all of the live looks and the presents that they give us. So we appreciate them. We also want to give a big thanks to Fox 9 Minneapolis. This is a live look right here of a beautiful look right there. And finally, we do want to give a shout out, of course, to our LA team. Our Fox LA team right there. And this is a look, it does appear to be perhaps of the airport right there. So thank you so much. We appreciate all of our partners right there as we continue to celebrate. And another live look inside our Live Now from Fox Studios as I continue to be joined and supported by senior producer Julianne and planning manager Carla. Wave, everyone. We are just having a good time. My gosh, you know what? It is Christmas Eve. We're not going to let the Grinch dampen our spirits at all. We're going to be checking in with him, of course, making sure that he continues his journey to perhaps a larger heart. All right, we're going to step away for a 2-minute break. We're going to be right back after this. Stay with us. Welcome to our Track Santa Now Christmas Eve special. I'm Stephanie Quinu, and we appreciate you taking the time to make us a part of your very special evening as we continue to track Santa as he journeys around the world delivering presents to all the boys and girls. And you're taking a live look at our NORAD tracker as it does appear as though Santa is going to be headed to Connecticut in just about 1 minute or so. We have been so lucky to have so many incredible partners in our Christmas Eve special. And I had the opportunity actually to head to Busch Gardens for one of their ice performances. And as we continue our live coverage, I did want to just play out some of that right now so you can enjoy.
Busch Gardens is proud to present Christmas on Ice.
So that was just a little bit of the Busch Gardens presenting Christmas on Ice right there, truly getting you into the spirit. And I also want to bring in another special guest right here. This is Kenzie Beach, who is with our KSAZ team in Phoenix. Kenzie, Merry Christmas Eve to you.
Same to you, Stephanie. I'm sure it's a lot colder there than it is here. We've had a beautiful day in Phoenix thus far. We're in downtown right now. Beautiful Christmas tree here, but I actually want to show you something else. Even the cactus in Arizona have Santa hats on tonight. So Merry Christmas to you from Phoenix.
I love that. And I do have just a question for you. We see that you're in front of an absolutely beautiful tree. You know, we've been asking all of our guests kind of, you know, their thoughts and their opinions on Christmas. And I wanted to ask you this. Are you of the fake tree camp or of the real tree camp?
Well, it's a great question that you asked me, because I do have a fake tree at home. Absolutely love it. Easy to pull it out each year. But what I miss the most is that real tree smell. So this year I tried to go out and buy a real wreath, but those are very difficult to keep alive and keep that fresh smell in the house. So maybe next year I'll go for a real tree just to kind of get that Christmas smell throughout the house.
Yeah, there is that Christmas smell. You know, sometimes it's like you could just use a candle and do the same thing. But Kenzie,
I'm burning those. It's close, but not close enough.
I know it's not really real. It's kind of like inching towards that, but at least it's better than like the pine scented like Christmas tree in your car. Kenzie, thank you for taking the time on this Christmas Eve to celebrate with us. We appreciate it.
Yep, Merry Christmas to you as well.
And so this is a question that I just posed to Kenzie, right? Do you prefer a real tree or a fake tree? So we want to pose that question to you, the viewer, and you can join us right here on Live Now from Fox. Just scan the QR code right there on the upper right-hand side of your screen. And my goodness, so far everyone seems to be wanting the fake tree, but I'm not sure about that. I feel like the Grinch probably is the one who is, you know, making that decision right there. I don't know. I don't know if I believe this. So, you know, I wanted to ask you, real or fake? And we're going to hang on this because I have to imagine that some of you would prefer the fake tree right there, or the real tree, I should say. I don't know. So we're just going to pause on this. But speaking of the Grinch, I wanted to bring him back in and get his thoughts on it. So, you know, the Grinch, we appreciate you joining us once again. Real tree or fake tree? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
That is a very, very good question, you know, and believe it or not, I hold this one very near and dear to my soul. Real or fake, you know, I'm going to have to say, believe it or not, real.
Real. Okay. And why is that, Mr. Grinch?
You know, there's this moment, you know, when the tree starts to reach the end and it starts to shed and it starts to lay all over the ground and, you know, it starts to, you know, turn all brown and it's not really pretty anymore. That right there, the best. I mean, it just looks fantastic. It's so ugly. It's great.
Why am I not even surprised that you went that route? I knew that there was something behind that answer, and then we have...
Yeah, baby!
Yes, sir. Okay, you know, I'm not often at a loss for words, but you know what? You are making it quite, I don't know, it's a tap dance, I have to say, Mr. Grinch. We're going to be checking in with you, but yeah, you heard Mr. Grinch right there. He says the real tree, but not for the reasons you might think. He appreciates it when it gets old and starts falling apart. All right, so, okay, you at home, here we go. Now we have nearly a tie. Real tree, though, winning out by 56% versus the fake tree at 44%. This is a hotly debated topic right here. And, you know, I'm just curious because this is what we're going to do. As you at home make your poll right here, 57 say real, 43 say fake. We love interaction here at Live Now from Fox, so we're going to continue. Putting my producer on the spot and planning manager. Okay, Julianne, What do you say, real or fake?
You gotta go real, the smell.
Real, okay, the smell. Okay, so Julianne's all camp, real tree. Carla, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna say fake.
Fake.
I don't like the mess.
You don't like the mess, but I feel like these are very valid points, right? You like the tradition, but you don't like the mess. And so I have both at home. So I have the mess and I have the fake. What can you do? All right, so real tree, 57% of you. Fake tree, 42% of you. And there you have it. I mean, it's hard to decide, or you can do both, which is what we do here at my household. All right, well, we are going to step away for another 2-minute break here on Live Now from Fox. We appreciate you making us part of your Christmas Eve. We know you have a lot of options, and we're just having a lot of fun right here. So we thank you for joining us in our celebrations. Coming up after that, though, as we do, we are going to continue our live coverage with Santa as he continues his journey with Mike from Mike's weather page, who is making sure that all of the weather conditions are communicated, because we don't want anyone to miss out on their presents. So we're going to have all of those conversations and so much more coming up in 2 minutes. Stay with us. Welcome back to our Track Santa Now special on Live Now from Fox, our 3-hour Christmas Eve special. And we are coming up on the third and final hour. And we just have so much live coverage for you as we continue to track Santa. But before we do that, I also wanted to continue our live coverage of all of the cities where we have these beautiful cameras. And this is a live look from San Francisco. As you can see, just gorgeous views right there as they are coming up on 8 p.m. Pacific time right there. So not quite where we are on the eastern seaboard, but we continue to celebrate Christmas here at home and, of course, around the world. And part of that is tracking Santa's journey right here. This is a live look of Santa's journey as he continues to trek around the world. And in fact, he's going to be in Quebec, Canada in just about 1 minute and 30 seconds. And so far, it's been fairly smooth sailing. He has dodged some of the trickier weather conditions. But you know what? We have Mike Boylan from Mike's weather page to guide him through all of that. And Mike, we appreciate you staying on. I mean, you are such an invaluable asset to Santa, as he definitely does not want to have any delays in his present delivery process. So as he's approaching Canada, is there anything that he needs to be on the lookout for?
Well, Canada actually has snow on the ground. We don't really have a really white Christmas this year, but some folks in Canada are having their first white Christmas in like 10 years. I'm talking to some up there. So it's going to be a little slippery for them up on those rooftops, leaving the South in Bermuda and the Caribbean. Now he's back to single digit temperatures and snow. So it'll be tricky for them to deal with that, I'm sure. But then we still got that fog in the middle part of the U.S. Storms in Texas are terrible right now. I've been trying to get the word out to them through you all that the storms are really firing tonight. There'll be a lot of lightning. I hope the reindeer don't get too scared with that happening in Texas.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I have to imagine that they have special protection. But when you're talking about the storms in Texas and you mentioned lightning, these are thunderstorms, I imagine.
Yeah, very strong. It's very warm, kind of summerish pattern right now. So there's going to be a lot of light in the sky. Santa will be dodging some thunder and lightning for sure. But once it gets past that, other than that Pacific Northwest with a lot of wind and rain that way, it's looking pretty good.
I have to ask you, Mike, not to deviate, but a lot of viewers probably have loved ones traveling or have traveled. And there was a lot of discussion about weather conditions over the next 24 hours or so. Oh, gosh. Wait. So, Mike, before you answer that, I'm going to interrupt myself. What's your little pooch's name?
Well, I have two dogs, and Hunter stole the show the first hour, and little Louie here has been very jealous. So I promised him I would put him on for a second. So.
Well, I have to say, especially with those light up reindeer ears, he is stealing the show. In fact, I'm going to bring him in full because, wait, hold him up just one more second. Look at that face, folks. Oh, my gosh.
He's trained. I show him off a lot on my little daily show. So he's probably more famous than I am.
He probably has a very huge fan base. How can you not with that look? I mean, look at it. He's not even looking at the camera. He knows how special he is. He's like, don't make eye contact with me right there. So I love it.
Yeah, the kids, everybody laughs because when they're playing and I whip out the camera, he stops. It's like he's been born and bred for the camera. When he sees me whip out, my phone, he just freezes and. His old dad's got the camera out again.
I have to say, I just love how pets have such distinct personalities. I mean, they really are their own, I would say person, but obviously that is the wrong word for it. But, I mean, it's so dynamic. It's just a lot of fun. Yeah. Do you and I have to say, Mike, they say that pets take after their parents. Does he take after you at all?
Oh, yeah. Everybody says we look alike. I mean, I'll post a picture of the three of us, and, they say that we look like triplets. So they got my same temperament. They're pretty calm. I guess I'm pretty calm. So, yeah, they do. I do believe that they become their owners.
I love that. Well, Mike, I'm going to let you get back to your family. We're going to continue to check in with you throughout the rest of the hour as we wrap up our special. But, thank you for tracking Santa and just letting him know about all of those tricky weather conditions. We're going to check in with you just a little bit later on right there. And as we do, I did want to share this live look with you. This is a live look of Chicago as we continue to thank our partners all across the United States. So thank you so much to Fox 32 Chicago right there as we continue our coverage. And I also wanted to give a shout out to Austin. And this is a live look from Austin right here as we do thank our Austin team as well. All right. So we do want to continue our live coverage right there, continuing our coverage with, of course, Santa. And Santa, you're joining us now, and we have you all ready to go right here. Santa, oh my, you did have an expression on your face that seemed a little bit of a surprise. Everything going okay?
No, those roofs were a little slippery up in Canada. Oh my goodness. That was crazy. Oh, man, it took us forever to get them shut down on the top of those roofs. But we made it.
So you did make it. And I have to ask you this, and I apologize for interrupting, but Mike Boylan was mentioning that the rooftops could be a little slippery for the reindeer. I have to imagine, though, that their hooves are they're prepared for this.
Oh yeah. I didn't know if you knew this or not, but the reindeer actually can adjust the temperature on their hooves for certain conditions. That is a true fact.
Oh, wow. No, I did not know that. I mean, so while we're talking about things that we didn't know about reindeer, they can control the temperatures on their hooves, obviously allowing them to adapt to any weather condition. Is there anything else that we may not know about your reindeer?
I'm going to let out a big secret here. Not everybody knows, and rarely do they get this treat that they love so much. And, you know, most people put out some oats or carrots and that kind of thing. But I guess I'll let it out of the bag. They love raisins. They absolutely love raisins for a treat. Yes.
I did not know that. So do they love raisins alone? You know, there's this tradition with the, you know, it's called like ants on a log or something, where you have peanut butter, you have celery. I imagine that the reindeer might enjoy that.
Yeah. No, they would love that. That's for sure.
So Santa, we know that you are continuing your journey right here. And, you know, again, we know that your time is incredibly precious. Before we let you go, any thoughts at this hour as you are, I don't even know, are you halfway there? I'm not even sure yet, but you know, what keeps you going? Is it the cookies? Is it the milk? Is it just the joy that you know that you're spreading around the world?
Oh, what gets me going? And I have the elves in my ear constantly, and they tell me how much they love seeing the kids smile as they're opening up that special gift that they've been waiting all year for. That's what keeps us motivated and to go more and faster and harder. Oh my goodness, it's the smiles that we put on the children's face. Oh my gosh. It is so fun to see the parents smiling and the joy that it brings them.
It's true. This is probably one of the times where people smile the most. And, you know, it is really so fun to do that. Santa, thank you for once again joining us live along your journey right here. We'll be checking in with you in just a little bit. I wanted to share once again some beautiful live looks from around the United States. As you can see, gorgeous Christmas decorations right there from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, New York City, Somerset, Pennsylvania, and St. Paul, Minnesota, all places that Santa will be visiting throughout his journey. Well, we are going to step away for a 2-minute break here on Live Now from Fox. Much more coverage to come. Stay with us. Welcome back to our Track Santa Now special on this Christmas Eve as we continue to track Santa in real time along his journey around the world. And it does look like he is now heading for Albany, New York in less than a minute. We continue our live coverage here on Live Now from Fox as we also continue our celebration of Christmas traditions. And this time we're going to head to Denmark. And so we did want to share this poll with you as we love this interaction right here. So we did want to ask you this. What is the Danish word for cozy and joy-filled living? On the upper right-hand side of your screen, there is that QR code that you can scan if you want to make your thoughts known. And, you know, these are words that you may have seen before, you may have not seen before. So we wanted to share them with you. The first one is Uga, you know, that is one of the words, and there's one that is, and we're going to be joined actually by Martin Klarborg in just a moment. He's going to be sharing with us how to actually pronounce all of these words right here. I have pronouncers right here, but I would be remiss in trying to say them as I am not from Denmark. But we did want to ask you this because cozy and joy-filled living really is a way of life in Denmark, and this is a way of life, especially in the nighttime, really, because there's a lot of nighttime there at this time of the year. So to talk more about this, I do want to bring in Martin Klarborg, who is the co-owner of Klarborg, to talk more about the Denmark Christmas traditions. Martin, we appreciate you are joining us live from Denmark. I know that it is very early on Christmas Day. So thank you for doing this. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And you have such a wonderful, you know, Christmas tree right there behind you and some elves. And in fact, I did want to share with our viewers, we actually have those very same elves right here in our studio, bringing us so much joy. So we did want to ask you this because we posed the question to our viewers, you know, the Danish word for cozy and joy-filled living. This truly is a way of life and something that you are deeply passionate about.
Yeah. Well, hygge, as it is pronounced in Denmark, is actually basically it's both. It can be both an activity and it can also be a feeling. But it is something that, you know, it's like a mix between coziness, and you know that in the US, mixed in with awareness and contentment. And when we are hygging in Denmark, we are with almost always with people that we like or love, and we actively choose that now we're going to sit down and we're going to hygge. You know, we could have a rough day at work, and then when we come home, I'm gonna tell my wife, tonight we're just gonna hygge. We're gonna let the kids stay up a little later. We're going to make maybe homemade popcorn or something like that, and it's like, yeah, like you say, it's a way of life, and it's like a decision we make that now we are going to actively, like, maybe close out the world and the noise a little bit and just be together as family.
So, Martin, I have a question for you because you were using uga as a verb almost, and you were sharing that, you know, you would tell your wife, hey, tonight we're going to uga. So yeah. Is there multiple ways to use this word? It's a verb, it's a feeling, it's everything?
Yeah, it actually is. It is a feeling, and it's also something that you can actively choose to do, that we're going to hygge, and then when we are hygging, then you are going to get the feeling. Like, I know that, you know, that it's possible to, like, you know, our body and our mind is very much connected. So I know that it's possible to, if you stand in like a power pose, then you'll feel powerful. So it's like the same way with hygge, that you can, if I have a bad day and I want to feel hygge, then I can actually choose that now I'm going to do a lot of things that is hyggeligt, like making hot cocoa. I'm going to, you know, I can also just be by myself, but actively setting up my surroundings so that they are very hyggelig. Like you have the Christmas tree behind me over here, some of our beautiful elves, make hot chocolate, maybe sit down with a book and just enjoy, being with myself. And then you get this feeling of like contentment, and it really starts with, kind of awareness that, like you say, that I start with being aware that now I need to do something to get this feeling of hygge. And then if I feel hygge, I'm going to do hygge things. But if I do hygge things, I can also get the feeling, which is a very nice, cozy, and happy, joyful feeling.
So, Martin, you were sharing with us, I mean, particularly in Denmark, at this time of the year, there's not as much daylight, which makes this all the more special. But I also wanted to ask you about, some of these elves. And this is a company that you and your brother have founded, and really continuing on the tradition of your mother. Talk to us about just how near and dear all of this is to you and your family.
Well, it's our lives. I grew up in a house where we had these elf figurines all around us. That was normal in my world. It's only when I grew up I realized that it wasn't really that normal to have elves all around you all year round. But my mom, she loves Christmas and has loved Christmas always. Her mom was very good at telling stories about elves, about Christmas traditions. And how they would help out, spreading joy and keeping track of the nice and naughty kids, helping Santa Claus. And that inspired my mom to, she's a designer and she designed these elves. And then when I was a little child, she saw that she found that I look very cute. So she made an elf in my image. So today, all of these elves are based on real people and people she has met in her life, and we're very proud of that. Our mom really made something very, very special, and we're just happy that we can be a part of it. And that's what we do all year round. My three brothers, my dad, we're all in the company that my mom started. So that's very near and dear to us. Christmas is something we do all year round.
I love that sentiment right there, Martin. And we appreciate you once again waking up very early on Christmas Day, as it is Christmas morning there in Denmark. Before we let you go, as you continue to hold your celebrations, or probably just start them because you joined us so early, is there anything else that you would like to share when it comes to Danish traditions, when it comes to, what this time means for you and your family, and really just being able to raise awareness and spread the joy of hygge?
Yeah, well, I think that tradition is about repetition. So I think a very important message from us is that even though it's you do the same thing each year. And the reason for that is it makes room for hygge. So you don't have to think about the setting. You don't have to think about what to do and who you're going to be together with. So you can lock out all the noise because you're doing the same thing year after year. And that makes room for being aware of what could we do to, appreciate each other. So that's why Christmas is so important. I think that's really the peak season for hygge.
Absolutely.
Because of the traditions.
Yes.
And because we know what to do. Yeah.
Well, Martin, thank you again for taking the time to join us here. And I wanted to share one last look as I mean, and you're saying that these are real, based on real people. This person took a little stumble.
Each and every one has a name and a story. Yeah.
Oh, well, yes. Here we go. Elias is the name of this little elf right here, and we'll have to look up the story of this particular elf. But Martin, we appreciate you taking the time to join us here on Live Now from Fox.
Thank you for it.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Merry Christmas.
All right, and so we do thank Martin for that, as you're taking a live look at this Christmas tree here out of New York City, but we wanted to once again share with you, because Martin shared with us what the word is for cozy and joy-filled living, and it is Ooga. So 65% of you did share that, and you guessed correctly. What we're going to do is this. We're going to step away for a 2-minute break here on Live Now from Fox, but after that, we're going to head to Milwaukee, where we're going to be speaking with Fox 6 reporter Durante Matthews to celebrate Christmas Eve with him. So that conversation coming up in 2 minutes. Stay with us. Welcome back to our Track Now as Santa special right there. Track Santa Now, I should say, on this Christmas Eve. Time right now is 11:20 p.m. Eastern, 8:20 p.m. Pacific, and we appreciate you taking the time. We know you are very busy, and so we do appreciate it as we continue to celebrate Christmas Eve with our audience, but also our Fox family. And for more on that, I did want to bring in Durante Matthews, who is a reporter with our Fox 6 Milwaukee team. Merry Christmas Eve to you, Durante. Thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas Eve to you as well, and happy holidays from Milwaukee. Right now I'm in one of the most festive parts of our city right now, and I do want to show you the Cheer District, where you will see Milwaukee's huge and beautiful Christmas tree here right now. It doesn't get more festive than that. You can see it is lit up and decked out as bright as it can possibly be. You know that Christmas tree from How the Grinch Stole Christmas? Yeah, that's got nothing on this. You're not getting away with this one. But tonight we have just seen so many wonderful families and people coming here, taking pictures, trying to really get into that festive spirit for tomorrow, where we're expected to have a white Christmas. So we have a lot to look forward to with that. But tonight out here, I've just seen so many cheers and smiling faces for people for the holidays. And I hope that what I have seen tonight reflects back to you guys, and that's what you're feeling as well.
Yes, absolutely, Durante, and gorgeous decorations right there behind you. You mentioned that you're expecting possibly a white Christmas. I do want to ask you this. Do you have a favorite holiday tradition of your own?
Ooh, okay.
Not to put you on the spot or anything.
That's kind of it's kind of changed. As a kid, my favorite holiday tradition was baking cookies, I guess, with my grandma on Christmas Eve before I ran out there the next morning. But that has changed. And tonight, well, now I should say, it's just having dinner with family. So I traded cookies for just dinner.
Hey, you know what? Food, just feed us and we're happy. Durante, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here on our Christmas Eve, on our special. We appreciate it, and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you as well. I loved it.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. And we thank Durante, who is live for us from Milwaukee, as they are expecting a white Christmas. Meanwhile, we wanted to take you out to New York City as St. Patrick's Cathedral Midnight Mass is currently happening. And you can see there is an incredible choir. So we're going to raise the audio and enjoy.
The next piece is Carol Fest by James Laster, and this is a medley of familiar Christmas tunes.
So we are continuing to listen in to St. Patrick's Cathedral's Midnight Mass right here. But as we continue our coverage, I did want to bring back in Christina Evans, who has been really covering all of the social media aspects and really just the incredible messages that have been posted online. Anything that has caught your eye, Christina?
Hey, Stephanie. Yeah, I've been hanging out here in the social studio, still continuing to look at everything that's happening online. And I think she is the queen of Christmas. I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that at this point. But of course, Mariah Carey did make a post as well. I want to pull up that post in full for you as well, so you can see exactly what the Queen of Christmas is saying at this time. She says, "Merry Christmas to all," dropping a photo dump also on social media as well, with how she and her family are celebrating this holiday season. And this is a big year for Mariah Carey, because she's rewriting history with her longest Hot 100 reign, with the 17th week mark for All I Want for Christmas Is You. So we do know that it tops the Billboard Chart 100 for the 17th total week. The song gives Carey her longest career command there on the chart, surpassing the 16-week run of her #1 from back in the day, One Sweet Day with Boys to Men. That was back in 1995 to 1996. But of course, we do know Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You, such a huge, huge, huge part of the Christmas season. Also want to show you what's happening on social media with Beyonce as well. Take a look at this. She posted on X saying, "I'm sending you big joy and love on this cowboy Christmas Eve. I'll see y'all tomorrow in my city, Houston, Texas." So you might be wondering, what is Beyonce talking about? Well, the NFL might be able to help you out here, because we do know that the NFL is going to have Christmas Day games live on Netflix tomorrow. And as you can see, the Baltimore Ravens will be facing off against the Houston Texans. And that is what Beyonce is referring to. She will be performing at halftime during the game. It feels like, again, Christmas. We're getting an extra treat here on Christmas with a full halftime performance from Beyonce, something that you would normally only see for a Super Bowl game. So going to be a lot of folks tuned into that as well tomorrow. And of course, another matchup that's happening there for the NFL are the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Steelers. Certainly going to be some good games and a Beyonce performance. Who could possibly complain about that? Also do want to check in with Santa as well here. Stephanie, as you're taking a look, I told you he's been moving all day long. It's kind of hard to keep up with the big guy. I'm glad you've been able to have him on the show quite a few times. But we do know that right now Santa is headed for Columbus, Ohio. He just left Cleveland a few minutes ago. He should be touching down there in Columbus in just about 10 seconds. So great to see that Santa is making his way around the country, dropping off now, surpassing that big number. Stephanie, at this point, it's so impressive to me. Santa has now officially delivered over 6 billion gifts. My goodness. Big guy, jolly fellow, such a big heart. So I'm just so grateful that we're able to track his movements and see exactly where he's going, dropping off gifts to those kids there in Ohio.
I mean, it's just so exciting. I mean, this is the anticipation. Sometimes I feel like the anticipation of Christmas Eve is almost as good as Christmas Day, if not more so. But I wanted to go back. Of course, you were sharing with us Christmas game day. Beyonce, of course, everyone's talking about it. And in fact, the Baltimore Ravens QB, Lamar Jackson, saying that he is not going to be in the locker room during halftime. He's actually going to try and get onto the field because he feels like that would be more useful to him and his team versus the huddle in the locker room. So I mean, you gotta love it. I mean, you gotta bow down to Beyonce because she is just going to give a performance like none other. And everyone's just excited to see that.
Absolutely. Queen Bee. I mean, Lamar Jackson recognizes it. He's one of the greatest in the football quarterbacks at this time. He's actually in the running for the MVP award this year. So I guess you have to say real recognizes real. He sees what a star Beyonce is and knows that it's important for him to watch that. But also he will be shining out there on the field as well. That's going to be definitely a part of my Christmas routine tomorrow.
Absolutely. And Christina, thank you for taking part in our Track Santa Now special. I know that, Christmas Eve, everyone has plans, but, I've just so enjoyed all of these, fun little segments with you, from the trivia to the Christmas celebrations that we've had. So, thank you for really helping to make this Christmas Eve truly special to our viewers. It's always a good time.
Absolutely, Stephanie, you've been doing such a good job tracking Santa, bringing on such fun guests. I mean, I'm just still so shocked that you have the Grinch's number. That's somebody you might have to put me in contact with. I think I need to be able to call him myself to see if we can work on getting his heart to grow a few sizes larger. It's got to be big here,
I think so.
I mean, Santa was gracious enough. So, I mean, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, and speaking of the Grinch, Christina, we're going to bring him in right now. Don't get too excited, Mr. Grinch. We're gonna step away for a 2-minute break. But, as Christina said, she had some valid points. We got to, have more of this conversation with you, as we are now just 30 minutes away, at least on the East Coast, from midnight. So we're going to be asking you some of those tough questions because inquiring minds want to know. All right, well, that conversation coming up in 2 minutes. Stay with us. Welcome back to our Track Santa Now special. I'm Stephanie Quinnew, your host for the next 30 minutes or so as we continue to celebrate this very special Christmas Eve. And speaking of special, I did want to bring in, I guess you could call him a special guest. I mean, he is a special guest right here. And I'm going to continue to bring him in right here as I work to bring this, because I wanted to share this with you. We are going to be polling the Grinch himself, and I wanted to share that with you because we wanted to ask him some questions. Inquiring minds want to know what is going on. So I'm working on this very special graphic as we continue to ask the Grinch, and we wanted to get to know him. Who is the Grinch? Because we've all heard about the Grinch possibly, but we wanted to know, really, is there more to him? What is he all about? And so we wanted to ask him these questions, and I'm pulling this up so we can have that conversation with him. So, Mr. Grinch, thank you for joining us live here on Live Now from Fox. And we wanted to ask you this. You know, we know some of who you are, but we wanted to know more. So we thought we would ask you some questions, and our viewers can also join in and share their thoughts on what they prefer. So, Christmas cookies or candy canes? Do you have a preference right here?
Let me tell you, I would say cookies. You know, a lot of people. I don't have the best hygiene, and you know, candy canes just seems like it'd be a little too fresh for me. So I've never actually given one a try, but you know, I do love a good Christmas cookie. The real soft ones, just I love them.
Well, maybe this is the year that you try a candy cane. You might like it.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, if anybody wants to throw any in their garbage, it'll go straight to me.
Yeah, I mean, but also, I mean, you can unwrap it, you can roll it around in the dirt, and you can add that extra layer of flavor right there. You might like it even more. So, you know, you prefer cookies, and it does appear that 74% of our viewers also side with you. Only about 23% prefer candy canes. But you know what, Mr. Grinch, even though your philosophy, I guess, or your reasoning behind this, I don't necessarily agree with. I also do agree with you that I prefer cookies. You know, just a question, particular type of cookie for you, because we know that Santa likes all types. Do you have a favorite?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would have to say double chocolate.
Ooh, double chocolate.
It's chocolate, but there's chocolate and there's more chocolate. You know, you just can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
No, you can't. You really can't go wrong. Okay, so we're going to go to the next poll. And we're going to just wait for it to populate. Okay, so homemade gifts or store-bought gifts. This also is very divisive. Do you prefer homemade gifts or ones that you find in a store?
I think if you've ever seen my documentary, you would know that I have a very, very big heart for homemade gifts.
Yes, that's true. And actually, you're quite a good sewer as well. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I have to give you props when they're well deserved. Okay, so 64% of you prefer stored bought. Oh, and now it's going back and forth. And I have to say, you know, for me, it depends on who is giving it, because for my children, absolutely, they ask me what I want for Christmas, and it's a story that they've written. It's a drawing that they've put their heart and soul into. So I think it depends. But yeah, it does appear that people prefer store-bought. But yeah, homemade, I don't know. Personally, I enjoy it. Okay, you too. Oh my gosh, you know, Mr. Grinch, I didn't know that you and I were so much alike. I'm just realizing we have agreed on every single question so far. It's like blowing my mind. Wow, okay.
I love it.
All right, so I think we have one more question for you. Okay, I know what my answer is. Eggnog or hot cocoa?
Oh, eggnog, baby. You let it sit out for a couple of days. Boy, it starts to smell great.
I'm sure it is very aromatic. Okay, so this is where you and I differ. I can't do eggnog. Cannot do it. I've tried it. Not a fan. It's too sweet for me. Hot cocoa all the way, possibly with some whipped cream, which, yes, I know is sweet. but you gotta go with hot chocolate. That is a tradition, especially when you have those cookies along with it. And you know what? I have to say, Mr. Grinch, most people agree with me.
All right, listen up. Listen up. Just leave the eggnog out in the sun for just a couple of days. Your opinion will change.
You know what? I'm going to take your word for it. I'm not actually going to follow that, but I will just accept your word as the Grinch truth, if you will.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. I am feeling generous in the Christmas Eve spirit, so I'm going to give you that. All right. Well, you know what, Mr. Grinch, we are going to step away for another 2-minute break. You know, oftentimes with these conversations I have with you, I need to recalibrate. And so that is what we're going to do. We're going to step away for that 2-minute break. I'm going to reset, refocus on that Christmas spirit. You do you. And we're going to continue our Track Santa Now coverage after that. Thank you, Mr. Grinch.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Welcome back to our Track Santa Now Christmas Eve special as we continue to track Santa as he journeys around the world delivering presents to just millions and billions of people. And my gosh, Christina Evans, she counted, and so far already he has delivered 6 billion presents. I think that's what her last estimate was. So just incredible as it does appear as he is going to be heading for Cancun, Mexico in just about 20 seconds or so. And Santa has encountered quite a bit of tricky weather along the way. I do want to once again bring in Mike Boylan with Mike's weather page, who has been guiding us as Live Now from Fox viewers and hosts to Santa himself. And Mike, you know, is Santa really appreciative of all of the heads up that you have given him and his reindeer as they continue their journey?
Yeah, it's still got a few rough spots ahead of him. We've been chatting, of course, and they've extended that fog down into Texas now. So he's got a big stretch across the middle part of the U.S. to worry about with the fog. And then, of course, those severe storms in Texas that are ongoing right now. So there's still a couple hurdles. I have no doubt they can do it. I'm sure the reindeer have seen worse, but you know we're keeping an eye out for them, an extra set of eyes here from from Florida at least.
Absolutely. So, Mike, I want to ask you this because you have been tracking weather for years now, and you are no stranger to really any of it. How does this particular Christmas Eve compare to previous years? Does it seem like it's calmer, or have you seen actually more activity this year perhaps than in previous years?
I think it's calmer as a whole. You know, we don't see a big nor'easter. Sometimes we see big snowstorms. I know 2 weeks ago there was a lot of forecasts for a pretty significant blizzard for part of the East Coast, and that kind of fizzled. So overall, I think it's a little bit calmer. You know, it's a little warmer. We don't see a lot of snow. But as far as severe goes, just that little pocket down there, you know, the Texas, Louisiana right now, and the Pacific Northwest has got some pretty big winds and rains. So it's a warmer Christmas, so that kind of brings a little more isolated storms than we normally see. And that Caribbean we mentioned before, down in Jamaica, he's heading down to Cancun now. There's some thunder and lightning going on down there. The Gulf and the Caribbean are still kind of in the 80 degrees mark, so that, you know, they'll still whip up some thunderstorms. So yeah, it's a little. I think overall it's a little calmer. So, you know, Santa deserves a break. I'm sure the last hundreds of years he's had, you know, worse conditions for sure.
So I wanted to ask you this, Mike. Speaking of weather, you know, I've posed a question to a couple of other guests: a white Christmas or a tropical Christmas? And as you know, as you've seen it all, what do you prefer?
Well, I got flip-flops to the left of me and flip-flops to the right of me, so I'm not really a cold weather kind of guy. You know, I like it a little bit, but living here in the South, I definitely take the warmth any day. So,
I mean, it's definitely nice, Mike, to be able to live in the warmth and then travel if you choose to see the snow and experience it versus the other way around. I think I'm with you on that one.
Well,
you know.
Y'all had the Gatlinburg webcam up earlier, and ironically, I try to take the girls up once a year to Gatlinburg to see snow, and everybody laughs at me because I get so excited over a flurry. You know, they're like, well, just come to Buffalo. And I'm like, well, that'd be too easy. I'd like to go to the Smokies and try to find a snowflake, you know, and then fly back home. So
well, you know what? You like a challenge, if I have to say. You definitely like a weather challenge. So no easy road for you, Mike, as you travel across, you know, really just reporting on some of the most extreme weathers. And that's why, you know, we love having you here on Live Now from Fox, your expertise. But really, my gosh, like some of the views that you have are just absolutely incredible. But we appreciate you taking the time on this Christmas Eve. I know you're staying up very late with us, and so we appreciate it. We got to see your adorable dogs. I mean, not to diminish, you know, your part of the show, but they are scene stealers for sure.
Yeah, it's okay. And I took the recipe down for that mistletoe mule. I think I might have to go try to make one of those, you know, in the night. That was a pretty cool little segment y'all had.
Yeah, I mean, the how she did that with the cups, yeah, definitely. I would need plastic cups for sure, because that's a little dangerous for my level of expertise. But Mike, wishing you and your family just the happiest of Christmases. Thank you so much from all of us here on Live Now from Fox. We appreciate you taking part in this special.
Well, I really appreciate that, Stephanie. And I've been looking forward to this night, and it really is been one of the highlights of my 20 years doing weather. I don't know. I'm just a big kid at heart. Hopefully it makes my kids proud, you know, that I helped Santa Claus, and you know, it's a great memory. So thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And you know what? I think we all are big kids at hearts, and we have to give ourselves permission to be that. And I think that Christmas absolutely allows us to do that without any shame or embarrassment. I mean, gosh, we just want to have fun, right? So Mike, thank you so much. And you know, to your kids, your dad has been absolutely amazing, and we appreciate him helping Santa along his journey. Mike, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, y'all. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. And you're taking another live look right here at our XRAD radar, our NORAD radar right there, as Santa continues to make his journey around the globe. And speaking of Santa, you know, I want to bring him in once more. Santa, thank you for taking the time. I know your time is limited. It is incredibly precious. You need to stay focused on the task at hand. But we've so enjoyed you being here on Live Now from Fox as part of our Track Santa Now. I mean, this really, it's all about you.
Thank you so much. This has been such a delight. I wanted to thank Mike and Mike's weather page for helping me get through some of this inclement weather and making it a lot easier for us to get these gifts delivered. And I wanted to thank you also for tracking. And we're just so very excited to be a part of this. And thank you.
So, Santa, as you're continuing your journey right here, you have much more to go. How do you unwind after delivering all of your presents? Do you have a routine, or you just fall asleep for days on end?
I just go to sleep. That's what I do. I just crawl up into my recliner. My dogs crawl right up next to me, and I take a long winter's nap.
So well deserved, Santa. You know, before we leave you on this Christmas Eve, is there anything else that you would like to share with our viewers?
Oh, just thank you so very much. And I hope everyone has their Christmas dreams come true. Enjoy your family, giving each and every one of them a big hug, and tell them that you love them. And I would like to sign off now. So Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to you, Santa.
Night.
Oh, we love that. Thank you so much to Santa for joining us here on Live Now from Fox for our Track Santa Now. As you can imagine, he is an incredibly busy individual on this Christmas Eve, and we do appreciate him joining us here. We do have another live event that we want to bring you out to. This is St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City as they are holding their midnight mass. Let's enjoy. You're listening in to the beautiful organist right there at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. This is part of the Midnight Mass right there. And this is happening live right now. So we did just want to share that with you just a little bit as we continue our live coverage here on Track Santa Now. And speaking of live coverage, we have one more special guest that we did want to say farewell to. Maybe, I don't know if it's a fond farewell, but it is a farewell. Nonetheless, we are bringing back the Grinch. But, you know, we've been having great conversations, I think, throughout the night. How are you feeling? Are you feeling more in the Christmas spirit?
That's a great question. Can I call you Phil?
Call me Phil, I guess. Just don't call me late.
All right. That was a good one. But you know, Phil, just talking with you and with all these great questions, you know, I'm beginning to think maybe Christmas is more than just revenge or darkness. Maybe it's about giving and kindness.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to take you in full because people need to take this in right here. Kindness and joy. Have we turned a page? Have we had an aha moment right here on Track Santa Now? I'm feeling like Oprah, Grinch. I mean, my goodness, the heart-to-heart that we have had. I mean, I don't want to say that I had anything to do it, but I think I did.
I think you did too. It's either you or the chalupa I had earlier.
I mean, one or the other. It could go either way. You know, gosh, this is probably the most I've enjoyed with you, Grinch. So thank you. I know. What a moment. I think, you know, I think people are going to be happy that they stuck it out to the very end of Track Santa Now, because this is a moment. This is a Christmas Eve miracle right here.
Truly, truly. And I remind myself that every time I look in the mirror.
You are a miracle. You know what? I think that that's something that we can all agree on, is everyone is a miracle, including the Grinch. And we just saw your heart grow 3 times tonight, as you know, your autobiography or biography says. You know, Mr. Grinch, people, some of us were skeptical, weren't sure what we would get tonight. But you know what? You all proved us wrong or right. I'm not sure which one. So thank you for, you know, joining us here on Live Now from Fox. We appreciate it. I know that Santa himself was happy that you joined us as well, and being part of this experience for all of the folks out there. So, Mr. Grinch, Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
My goodness. And there we go. Nothing left to be said as we continue our Track Santa Now special with Santa on his sleigh. And remember, Santa did have that conversation with the Grinch just a little bit ago. Speaking of Santa, though, you know, he can't do this alone. He has Mrs. Claus, who is really a large part of this. And we are so lucky that she is going to be joining us to read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Let's listen in.
Hello, everyone. Tonight we will be reading The Night Before Christmas by Clement C. Moore. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mamma in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When, out on the lawn, there arose such a clatter. I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below. When, what to my wondering eye should appear but a miniature sleigh and a tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. That was my Santa Claus impression. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then, in a twinkling I heard on the roof, the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and